Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lamenters. We are here with the entire gang, and as a short recap, we left off in the last episode with the group finally arriving at the hideout of the PacNW, and having successfully negotiated their hostage. They received a bit of information. Finally, they have an idea or several ideas of where they could go to find some kind of human civilization or settlements. The group also learned, or was rather warned by the PacNW about a warband. And in fact, the injured PacNW revealed that he had to give the stolen items from Bivoj's backpack as tribute to the warband. And you guys, having seen a set of tracks that did not match the PacNW, when you were a few miles back to the west in the meadows, that kind of confirmed your suspicions about some other group other than the PacNW having met. So you guys have had a long rest, a much needed long rest after the interruption the previous night before. That also involved sleeping in kind of late. You guys did a bit of preparations, some hunting, and some prayers for those of you with a divine inclination. So at last, it is late morning. I'm going to say it's about 11 a.m. And it is surprisingly the first day where it hasn't been terribly overcast or rainy. It's actually a sunny day, blue skies, white clouds. It has warmed up, not to the point where it's hot, but it is warmer, sufficiently warm. And you guys are breaking your camp. So where do you want to go?
Well, do we want to go to a village, perhaps, or do we want to try and follow the warband?
Village. To a village.
Yeah, I would also prefer village.
Well, then we got two choices for that. Northeast, southeast.
Well, so where you are, and again, you have divined direction based on the fact that at dawn you guys could see the sun peeking up kind of over the forest that's east of you. So by 11 a.m. the sun's pretty much almost overhead. And you feel this forest stretches for as far as you could see, east and then north and south. So you could head northeast, you could head due east, you could head southeast.
Shall we flip a coin?
I would say southeast, but
yeah. I mean,
we either go through the forest, which seems to be dangerous, or
I would vote northeast.
I don't think we're equipped to meet a party of experienced warriors.
That's not
don't
what I'm
even
suggesting.
Yeah.
So north and west would be the warband. So northeast.
Okay. Yeah, northeast is the other
east,
village,
or southeast.
Perhaps.
Any of those three directions, northeast, east, or southeast, is where the PacNW kind of gestured towards humans.
Okay. Let's go to warmer climates in the south.
that was my thinking.
Okay.
South.
All right.
So you're gonna head southeast.
But
Yes.
Oldrad, do you have a reason why you want to go northeast? I mean, if you do, I want to hear it. I don't want to just leave you out and say, no, your idea is bad, because your idea is not bad. It's just...
Northeast will keep us closer to our mission, I believe. Closer to the warband means closer to our mission. Going away from the warband means we're abandoning the mission.
getting closer to the warband also might mean that they jump us before we are ready to face them.
I don't want to directly engage this warband, but being close would be a good idea.
I concur.
Keep your enemies close.
And there is still a chance to get my stuff back.
As well as that.
Okay, so we need to have a consensus between what, southeast and northeast?
So show of
So,
hands.
northeast.
All hands for northeast. It's 3.
I'll go.
Bivoj. So there's 4. Okay, in southeast. Just the 2 of us. Well, northeast it will be.
Okay.
Excellent. That's totally where I wanted you guys to go. Actually, I have no vested interest. There's adventure. Adventure abounds in every direction, literally. So, fantastic.
If we live long enough, we can go the other direction as well.
Yeah. Just as a reminder, so like none of you have bushcraft, right? So you're kind of going into the forest knowing your directions now, but you start walking in the direction of northeast. And you are trekking through a forest that doesn't look like it has a lot of human traffic, let's say. Like you don't see any roads or even paths that look like people have walked through this forest. And as you go in further, it becomes kind of dense to the point where whoever the 2 people are that are on point are going to have to kind of hack their way through some underbrush because it becomes kind of dense. There's also a distinct kind of smell to the forest. It smells very earthy. You do see animals and hear animals kind of moving about in a normal fashion, but there's kind of a dampness as you're traversing through this forest. And you guys travel for the first few miles pretty uneventfully. I need one person who is on point to roll a d6 and tell me what the result is.
Who's on point?
3.
Well, whoever's on point would be the ones hacking through underbrush. Okay, go ahead, Bane.
I'm right beside Bane, hacking away.
1.
You rolled a 1?
Yep.
All right. It occurs to you after traveling for 2 hours that you aren't exactly sure if you're still going northeast. You feel
I'm
like
not sure what direction we're going, clan.
you feel like there have not been any significant markers to indicate like where you are, unless somebody were to like climb up one of the trees and go to the canopy and kind of look for the sun and get bearings. You aren't sure whether or not you're lost.
Well, there might be another way. I know that this is common knowledge that moss grows on the north sides of trees.
You see moss on a lot of the fallen trees in the forest. But you don't see a pattern to its growth. And you think that part of that might be the fact that when you are in this forest, the canopy is so dense and the undergrowth is so dense that not a lot of sunlight filters through. You have ambient light, but it's not a lot of light.
Do any among us have climbing as a special ability?
No, but who's nimble enough to maybe give it a try?
I got 1 pip in climbing.
Same.
Yeah, just about everyone does
Yeah.
one.
Okay, who's going to be brave enough to climb a tree?
Oh gosh, I'll do it.
Okay, make me
Tie
a
a
roll.
rope around your waist.
Oh, I have 5.
You climb up about 10 feet and then skid down the bark. But
Slippery.
while you were up there, Bivoj, while you were up there, like kind of over the underbrush, about 100 meters off in a direction, you saw a deer like leaning over and drinking from a small stream.
Oh, guys, there is a small stream that way. We should go there. It's about 400 yards.
Could refill our water skins.
Could give us better bearings from trudging through this forest.
Okay.
Follow the stream.
You guys.
I also
head
get my
towards the
bow
stream?
out
Okay.
for that deer, maybe.
Oldrad, you get your bow out. You guys are heading in the direction that Bivoj indicated, and you indeed come across a stream. You do not see a deer there, but what you do see is kind of curious. As you're approaching the stream, it sort of runs on a diagonal to you, so you don't like run into it perfectly. It's more like on a diagonal. But across the stream, you see a dirt path that looks like it's wide enough. It's probably 12 feet wide, so maybe wide enough for like a wagon or horses or people to walk. And it seems to head off from the stream into the forest. And you notice that like it goes for a ways, maybe a quarter of a mile. It kind of turns, so you can't really see how far it goes, but you can see it goes off for a ways in the distance.
Do we see any tracks in the dirt? Any foot or wagon wheels?
Any hoof prints?
No. What you do see, if you want to search, you could find a very old looking water skin that looks like it was left kind of where the road meets the stream, and it looks old, like it's tattered and ripped and stuff. But that's like the only thing you find. You don't see any tracks going up the road.
Is the road still open and even, or is there any growth and grass, bushes?
It's a dirt road. It's not like stone or anything, but it does look like it's been used. Like there isn't stuff growing up on the road.
Okay.
So it looks like recently maintained, I guess.
Still being used instead of abandoned.
Yeah.
So it just ends at the stream?
Yeah. It looks like it just ends at the stream.
Okay, so there's only one way to go.
A good sign, though. We found a road.
Yeah.
I'll fill my water skin while we're here.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay.
I definitely take a drink at least.
Okay, the water tastes like cool and fresh. It doesn't smell funny or anything like that. In fact, like when you go to the river, you in the mid of the stream, you see like little fish. So you guys fill your water skins, and then what are you doing?
Let's suppose that we went in the correct direction, yes? Well, what if the warband has some kind of wheeled tank or water or whatever, and they are taking it from the stream here? We may
There's no deep tracks.
investigate that.
There would be marks on the trail if someone had been here that recently.
Yeah, but, well, the tank that has to be
Also,
on the cart or whatever may not be filled every few days. Maybe it can be filled like once a week, once every fortnight.
Well,
Then I suggest we proceed with caution.
yeah, this is
Yes,
all
well.
speculation. We need facts.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't also expect Warband to maintain a road. But that's other thing.
We may check that.
Well, we should be cautious anyway, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's be cautious. And
Just so I know, if you guys are going up the road, who are the two people up front, and who are the two people in back?
Front.
I'll be up front.
Okay.
I would be near the front.
Who would-
I'll
second row.
Back.
I'll be somewhere in the middle.
Okay, so Sarah and Liber are in the back, and Bane and Oldrad are up front.
Bow out.
Claude,
Yep.
make a charisma roll on her.
That was outside. Nope. It's 19, so
Okay.
that's
Your
not gonna work.
dog starts barking like at something up the road, and he starts taking off. And then you see this rabbit dart across the road into the other side of the forest, and your dog's taking off after him. You try to call him back, but he takes off.
You want to shoot the rabbit?
Yeah,
I
sure.
just
Go ahead.
Hey, that's food. I'm hungry.
I'm gonna say, because you're shooting as it's diving into as it's diving into some bushes, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a slightly more difficult shot. So you need to beat a 15 or higher to hit it.
That's good because I rolled a 16.
Okay.
And I had to roll flat.
So a moment later, dog returns carrying the rabbit and the arrow stuck in the rabbit, and he brings the rabbit back to you, and he looks at you. He's still carrying it in his mouth.
hand it over, critter.
Okay. Claude, you give him the command to drop it, and he does.
Yeah.
What a good dog.
No, he's not. He shouldn't be running off like that.
The rabbit looks like a healthy, big forest rabbit.
I go to pick up the rabbit and retrieve my arrow and skin it and all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm not gonna punish critter, but I'm also not gonna reward him. So
he kind of walks around and waits. You see him just eyeing Oldrad as Oldrad's skinning the rabbit. There's a little drool.
Come on him to come over to me and sit.
He does. After a few minutes, you have successfully skinned the rabbit.
Cool.
I'm going to look around a bit, listen to birds, look around in the grass.
Okay, Sarah, make a intelligence roll on her.
Okay. Intelligence. I got a 3 out of 15.
You have a flash in your mind. It's a memory of your youth learning how to hunt in the forests near where you grew up in the Eastern Kingdoms. And these trees don't quite look like those trees. Some of the birds that you see don't quite look like the birds from the old forests near the Eastern Kingdoms. You feel like this place that you're in now is probably not anywhere near the forests from where you grew up.
Well, I don't think we're in the Eastern Kingdoms. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering the flora and fauna where I grew up, and this is nothing like I remember. So there's one place we are not, I think. That's a
good
start.
To know. That's good to know.
Good stuff.
Shall we head off, friends?
Yeah, we can go. And as we go, I'm just looking for other game out there.
Okay.
I'll have my bow ready, but not up and drawn.
Okay. You guys walk for a few hundred feet, and then the dirt road kind of turns through the forest, but is still maintained. It looks pretty clean, and it turns, and you travel for about another 100 feet. At this point, Oldrad and Bane, you're up front. You notice footprints on the dirt road
Oh,
that
we
look
found
like
something.
that look as if they came from not the direction you're coming from, but like from out of the forest and found this path and then started walking up this path.
Are they boot prints or feet prints?
They are boot prints. Yeah. You see 3 sets of boots.
Sets of boots.
And
what size?
Like average human size.
Do they look reminiscent of the war party?
No. So if you recall, the war party's prince was a group of barefoot, like no shoes, no boots, cluster of those kind of footprints, and one set of booted footprints that were large, like Bane size large. These just look like standard boot prints.
Could be some.
Can we tell how long they've been here?
If you had bushcraft, you could. You feel like they're not necessarily fresh, like they're kind of faint. But you notice that they seem to come out of the woods from a different direction that you guys had come from, and then to this path, and then they kind of follow the path. So they're kind of like ahead of you.
Yes. Could be some locals hunting.
Do they come from a direction that's off the road?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They come from out of the woods.
Well, let's just see if there's a path there.
Yeah.
So you want to backtrack the tracks into the woods?
No. I'm thinking if they came in from somewhere not on the road, there might be a small path there.
Well, you look for just from the road, from where you are, you don't see any path. You do see tracks that are also old that look like these people were traveling through the woods like you guys had been doing and stumbled upon the road at this point. And then upon finding it, they followed the road in the direction that you guys are already heading.
Seems we're not the only ones to stumble upon this road. Maybe it's a pathway to a trap.
Perhaps.
And they were either hunters or they were bringing offerings to the warband.
Or could be more people who are lost like us. We were traveling with a group of our flashes.
Exactly.
Well, we can speculate till the cows come home, but it's not going to get us anywhere.
I agree. Let's go.
Let's follow.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys continue walking up the road, and another 100 feet later, and it turns again to the left. And as you kind of come around this bend, up ahead, a few hundred feet, you see that the road opens up, and the trees open up, and you see what looks like a big clearing and a enormous chateau, like a big fancy mansion.
Oh shit.
And you see like a wall, you see, and something else ahead of you. Like it looks like the road goes into something. You see like hedges, like tall, 10-foot tall green hedges, like evergreen hedges.
Are they well groomed?
Well, they're kind of far away.
Oh.
Can't see that much detail, so.
Goes out. Walking up.
Shall we knock on the door? As in,
We've come
up there.
We've come for our reward.
Yeah.
Well, let's just see if the grounds are well groomed, because if the grounds are well groomed, it's definite that someone's there taking care of it. But if it isn't, then we might want to either take advantage of the situation or be wary of the situation.
Let's go investigate.
Definitely.
Okay. You guys walk up the road. As you get closer, you see that ahead of you is a large clearing, like several hundred feet in diameter. and there's a wall, like a 12-foot tall stone wall, like sturdy, like just as sturdy as any castle or keep that you've ever seen. And there is a gate that looks like it enters into a garden with tall hedges. From the distance that you're at, over the wall, you can see that chateau is just beyond it. And there is a archway, and in a very ornate wooden sign, you see a word kind of etched into the wood, like almost like a relief, and it's painted very nicely with like green lettering and gold outlines around the word. And the word is IRA, AYARAI. And it looks like this is the only gate, this archway represents the only way to get into the grounds of this chateau or keep. And it looks like it leads into this garden with the hedges.
Are the walls well maintained?
The walls are very well maintained.
Does anyone recognize that word?
Yeah, I can't read, so what does it say? I asked around.
I'm trying like common.
Yeah.
I will let everyone except for Sarah, and there's a reason why, make a intelligence roll on her.
Okay.
4.
Ooh.
6.
Wow, I beat my 6 intelligence with a 3.
Yeah, I have 3 too.
We're all geniuses.
I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 3 too.
That's why I can't read.
No way. My intelligence sucks.
Okay, Martin and Niels. Martin, what did you get?
9 out of 18.
Okay, and Niels?
I rolled a 2 against 11.
How many of you got 2s? Just Niels?
I got a 3.
I got a 3.
I am now forced to consult the notes. I was not expecting anyone to roll that well.
All of us rolled under,
word?
I think.
How is this word spelled again, though? Is A what?
AYARAI.
R-A-I. Got it.
Niels, where is Claude from?
Could you put that in the chat?
Castle Lee.
If you get a
Or
chance.
Lee Castle area.
A-R-A. Not A-Y.
Who else got a 3?
I got a 3.
Bane and Oldrad.
And Bivoj.
And Bivoj. Bivoj is also from the Borderlands. Okay, Oldrad, you're the only one who would reasonably recognize this name.
Okay.
Even though you're illiterate. So
yeah.
When the group shares what they've seen, you have this moment of like brief but hazy recollection of that name.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quite place it, but you know it as a noble family name. And you feel like maybe it's a noble family from the Western Kingdoms, but you don't remember anything specific about it.
Right.
It'd be like if I threw out like the Carnegie or Rockefeller or the Vanderbilts. Like you would know the name as nobility, but you might not know like, oh well, they made their fortunes doing blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't know the details.
Recognize it. You recognize the name as a noble name, but that's about all.
Right. Oldrad just like thinks really hard. He's like, oh, I feel like I recognize that name from the Western Kingdom as a noble family.
And you're not
Heard
even
it
sure
somewhere.
which one of the Western Kingdoms you recognize that from?
Somewhere out west. But that's about as much as I can remember.
Do you know if they are friendly?
I barely recognize the name.
Well, let's knock on the door then.
Let's knock on the door. I agree.
Fastest way to find out.
To be clear, this archway where the gate is, the gate is open. The gate's open.
Oh.
But it leads into this hedge maze, basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we ought to find the front gate. This looks like a back.
There's gonna be a maze. I knew it was gonna be a maze.
Do you want to walk around the exterior of the grounds?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not good coming in the back of a noble's.
Does it look like the front of the mansion that we can see?
When you were walking towards it up the road, it did look like the front.
Okay, so this is the front gate, huh?
It might not hurt to take a look around anyway.
You could do a walk around the perimeter if you want. That's fine.
Nobles having their weird interests.
I would check the rest of the mansion from the outside anyway. We can go inside later.
Let's do a walk
With my
around.
axe propped up on my shoulder, I will search the perimeter.
Let's walk around.
Bill, does the wall look like there could be a walkway on top, or is it just a...
No. Well, I mean, if you put somebody on your shoulders, you could probably get to the top.
Yeah, but it's not really a guard-like...
No, it's not like a palisade where...
Yeah. Just a big garden wall.
Correct. So, you're all traveling around the perimeter together?
I think we should split up and one group go one way, one group go the other way.
I think that's a great idea.
It is the best idea ever.
Well,
Who's going left? I need 4 hands in the air.
Left.
I'll go left.
Going right. I'm going right.
Okay. I didn't say right. Put your hands down, right. Left only. Okay, this is like school. Pay attention. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys are going left, and then the right people. Raise your hand right.
I was planning on first throwing my grappling hook trying to throw it over the wall and climb up and look over the top.
Fair enough. You do that. So before anybody splits, you pull yourself up. You see a beautiful estate. You see the hedge maze, which seems to go for it's pretty big, let's just say. Beyond the hedge maze, you see trees and gardens, like fruit trees. You see like little fountains. You see columns, like a nice ornamental column with like now I'm drawing a blank. What are the things that they have across the top of things in vineyards?
Oh,
Castle.
Yeah.
Trellis.
Yeah, like it's just gorgeous. Like it is the most regal estate that you've ever seen. And then you see the chateau itself, which is huge.
Mm-hmm. Any indication of other gates?
No.
Okay. Well, I shout down like, I don't see any gates. It's just a big maze for a distance, and then the real gardens start, and then a huge chateau. So I don't think going around would benefit anything, and it's going to be a long walk round. So I think we're better off trying to go into the maze and basically cut our way through, perhaps, instead of trying to follow the maze.
I don't think they would like
slide down again.
Maybe we could get around this maze, by walking around the side, using the grappling hook, and not going through that maze, because that seems like a dangerous thing to do.
Well, mazes aren't so
Appreciate us
hard.
checking
You
out the
just
maze.
Yeah, it
It's
just
what's
takes a
in the
while.
maze.
mazes aren't so hard. You just keep one hand on the wall, and eventually you'll make it out.
He might be
Yeah.
able.
It's gonna take time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
And it
want to
could be
waste that
booby
time.
trapped.
but I don't agree with destroying the maze either. Destroying the carefully tended.
One more thing. I will tell you that from the point where you climbed up, Claude, you were able to see just inside, like over the wall, you're able to see what looked like the head of a statue in the maze.
Okay.
Like it was clearly like stone, like it looked like the side or back of a male statue.
I mean, it's there for a reason. It's probably security.
Which is why we should go around it.
A stone statue being security. How do you figure that?
He's
No, the
probably-
maze itself is a security, and there's probably trips and ways.
Hence why I said just
like bells
cutting our way
attached
through.
I don't agree with that.
All the more reason to go around it.
Let's go around.
Did it look like
Is
the
there a
maze
way to
was
go
all
around
around
the
the chateau, or?
No. The maze is just like if you go through the arch, you would have the maze.
Mhm.
And then it looks like beyond the maze was all these nice gardens and then the chateau. So
Oh,
It doesn't go around the perimeter.
You could go around to like the side of the wall and do what Oldrad was suggesting if you wanted, and it looks like it's just open ground with gardens and stuff leading to the chateau.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you seen anyone inside or just? on the-
You did not see anybody outside from where you are, Claude.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Unless you guys want to do this
what I
maze.
remember from having climbed up there, which direction, left or right, would be the shortest way to the side of the maze?
Either one.
I don't.
It is perfectly geometrically organized. So you could go
Okay.
left and climb the wall and bypass the maze, or you can go right and climb the wall.
Okay.
If we climb the wall or destroy the maze, we are setting a bad precedent. What if this might be an ally? We've put ourselves in a corner where we are the enemy if we destroy their property.
Oh, climbing over wouldn't destroy.
It's breaking and entering. Either way you look at it, we would still be violating their.
No, it would be
requirements.
entering, not breaking.
I'll knock on the door. You do what you want.
I'm not trying to break in yet, as long as somebody lives here.
Would you
It's
be
abandoned. That's another story.
would you be able to make a map of the maze from the top? We might be able to see how hard it is to get through before we enter. And
Well, the top of the maze, it looks like the hedges are as tall as the wall. So you wouldn't, even if you're standing on top, you're not going to be able to see the entire maze. You'd see just the initial area that you're above looking down, which is why Claude was able to see a statue inside of the hedge maze.
Right.
Let's walk around and see what we can find.
Well, I could just climb on top again and sit and wait for a while and see if we can spot any movement inside the perimeter. See if anyone's there.
Well, I
don't see
think
anyone.
that this maze is here for us to go through it.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. Remember this for the rest of your life. Nothing in any of my adventures is ever something you have to do.
Okay.
I beseech you to break the game. By all means, please. Every option is yours to explore. Do you want to dig a tunnel under the wall? Totally fine. Get your shovels out.
Claude, if you perch yourself up on the wall
Gone
and
before.
watch our backs, we'll search around the maze and see what we can find.
Stick
Yeah,
out
I'm
the
fine.
plug just in case.
So I need to know what you guys are doing. Are you splitting the party? Are you going 40 feet over and climbing the wall to the open part of the estate? Are you going through the maze? What are you doing?
If we go through the maze, please let us all stick together.
Definitely.
I'm not going in that maze.
I'm not
Okay.
going in
Anybody.
there either.
That's
Period.
good.
Period.
Okay,
Period.
let's do this.
I know the way to
Bivoj,
mazes
Boarhunter, and I
if
rush in.
So Bivoj rushes into the maze. Oldrad
Hi,
is not
Bivoj.
going into the
Well,
maze.
we've lost one. We've lost one, my friends.
Fine.
That's fine. I can adjudicate this in chunks, but I need to know before Bivoj. Well, Bivoj goes in the maze. So who is not going in the maze and climbing over the wall with Oldrad?
I'm climbing over.
Yeah.
Sticking with Claude.
Did we
Knowing
ever
that
say what
getting
was on
Critter
the
up there
opposite
again
side?
would be a challenge, but
I'll help you with
Did we
that.
ever say, Bill, did we ever go around the other side to see if there was anything else we could see aside from the maze and the front entrance and the wall?
Sure. Oldrad and you and Claude and Havardr, and Liber and Sarah and Leonard, you go to the left. You throw a grappling hook up. You climb up to the top of the wall. You see from that side, again, gardens, beautiful manicured estate. You do see a couple other buildings that look like you're not really sure what they are, but they look like maybe they could be some kind of utility buildings, like maybe a servant's quarter or a meat locker, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe a stables or a smithy, something like that.
okay. So, but sitting on top of the wall, we're not seeing any movement anywhere.
No. So the closest, I would say that from the left side of the hedge maze, probably the closest structural thing you could see would be like a stone well with like a wooden little roof over it, and like the cross beam and the pulley and the rope and the bucket. And then just beyond that, you see the other wooden building that I mentioned. And that wooden building looks like it has a stone chimney. And then the big chateau.
We are all at the top of the wall.
Sure.
Except for Bivoj.
Can I take out my spyglass and check the windows of the chateau if there is like any movement, anything lit, anything?
Absolutely. I'm gonna say it's like, maybe 2 p.m. You don't see any lights inside of the chateau, but it looks like there are windows with, drapery, curtains, that kind of stuff. The grounds seem to be very well kept.
Okay.
Well, hop down. I'll hop down. I'll start heading towards, the chateau.
Okay. Smash cut back to Bivoj. Bivoj in the
Death trap maze. Maze.
Bivoj in the maze. Okay, so Bivoj, you enter the hedge maze, which now I'm going to describe to you. You start to follow the hedge maze in. You go in, you go left, you turn right again. So far, it's just a single route until you come across an area where you could continue to go straight or you can turn right. You feel that turning right would bring you back to where Claude had first seen that statue.
I'll try to go in a way that if I have chance to go straight, I'll go straight.
Yeah.
And for every left turn, I'll try to take right one. So to keep approximately the same direction.
Okay. So instead, you're not interested in cutting off to see that statue?
I don't want to destroy the hedge.
Do you want to see the statue? It's open.
I might look.
Okay. So you turn and you see a stone statue that is positioned on a stone plinth, like a pedestal. And it looks like a very old statue, like it's been there for a long time. It's made of stone, and the stone looks like weathered, like it's kind of chipped in a lot of places, and there's like water weathering from it. And it looks like a man with like in full plate armor with a shield, and there's a family crest on the shield that you see. And there's does Bivoj read? Is he literate?
No, not at all.
Okay, so there's like a label. You see like words on the plinth as if it were to identify who this person is.
I just jokingly, "Oh, well, good sir. What is the shortest way through this maze?"
There is no response.
Well, we'll stick to the previous plan.
Okay, you can turn right or the second right. First right or second right?
I'll try the second one.
Okay, you find yourself back on the path that you were walking. You turn. You could go left or you could go second left.
I'll try the second one.
Okay, you walk down the second left and that turns. And then you walk a little bit more and it turns and it doubles back. And then you get to a point where you can go straight or left.
My voice starts to get a little bit, not frustrated, but bored of this.
That boringness is perfect timing. We will take a 5-minute bio break at this point. Okay, so Bivoj, do you feel, how does Bivoj feel about this maze? You said bored. Does that mean Bivoj doesn't want to be in the maze anymore?
Definitely. Like, it's nice, yes, but I'd like to be, well, at the end of it.
Okay. How would you say Bivoj would want to go about not being in the maze? Would Bivoj try to navigate his way forward through the maze or to go backwards?
Well,
or would Bivoj call out for help?
I would definitely not call for the help. I'll backtrack a little bit, but I'll make an arrow where I went already, like on the ground.
Oh, interesting.
Just to be sure, just to mark, like really an arrow, like I went that way. And
Okay.
if I got to the mark again, I'll make a cross. Like, no, that's not what I want.
Okay. All right. So you make an arrow heading back in the direction that you just came from, and then do you go back in that direction?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. You come back across another way that can split off. Do you go right or second right?
I go right.
Okay. You find yourself in a dead end, and you see a pear tree, a small pear tree. And it looks very fresh. Like the tree is bearing fruit, which gives you a sense that maybe that indicates what season you were in.
Oh, it should be autumn then. Well, I had no breakfast, so we can have some. And I serve myself with the pears.
Okay. You you find something interesting about the pears. As you go to reach for a pear, you notice that the side facing you is like a ripe green color. But as you go to grab the pear, you notice that the side facing the interior of the pear tree is kind of a reddish color. And it looks like something is carved into the skin of the pear.
Is it like a symbol or writing that I can't read?
It's writing that you can't read.
Hmm.
It's a word.
I'll check the green ones.
All
If
of them
there's-
are green on one side and red on the inside. Like red on the side facing the tree, green on the side facing out from the tree.
Okay, if there is enough, I'll take 3 of each.
Oh yeah, you could take 20 if you wanted.
Yeah,
Okay.
6 pairs is enough just for the walk in the maze. And
Okay.
I start to eat them when I go through the maze.
They taste delicious.
Mm.
Okay, so you walk back in the direction where you were going. You find yourself at another point where you have to choose straight, left 1, or left 2.
I'll try left 1.
Left 1 leads you back to the first statue that you saw, so you know you're getting close.
Oh, it looks like we're close to the entrance. Would you like a pair, good sir? No? I'll have them myself then.
Okay.
And I'll just casually try to go outside, maybe around the mansion or around the chateau, and just for a stroll.
Yeah. So you are still in the maze. You go out and you find yourself back at the entrance of the maze.
Yes.
Smash cut to the rest of you who went inside of the grounds climbing the wall. So the rest of you guys see that you're about 100 feet away from the well and maybe 120 feet away from the other building and about 140, 60, 180 feet away from the entrance to the chateau. So are you guys waiting for Bivoj or are you walking into the estate?
We don't know where Bivoj is.
That is correct.
I'm gonna head over to that building. Check
Okay.
it out.
Yeah, is there any smoke coming from the chimney or anything?
There is not smoke coming from the chimney, but the building as you guys walk over, so you pass by on your way to that building, you pass by the well.
Look in.
Is there still water down there?
Yeah, so I mean, you guys walk over to the well, you kind of look down there. How do you want to detect if there's water?
Is there a bucket hanging from the?
There is, yes. There's a bucket, and that's
And a
tied off
lowering
to
mechanism?
a rope and a pulley.
I'll lower the bucket into the well and see if there's water.
Okay, you after about 40 feet, you hear a splash.
Let it sink a bit and dip in and pull it up.
Okay, you do. You hear water sloshing. You pull the water up. It looks like well water, like
Potable.
I'll put a drip on my finger and see if it's anything odd about the water or if it's just regular water.
There's a little bit of a difference in taste in the sense that it's not like the fresh water that you guys have had from like rivers and streams. It tastes like well water, like ground. It has kind of a ground water taste to it. But other than that, it's not. It tastes okay.
Anything else about the well that looks out of the ordinary, or is any markings or?
There is not.
How dry was the bucket before he dipped it?
Dry.
Bone dry.
Yeah. Yes.
It's kind of odd. This late in the day, it's still being dry.
Well, I want to look at the tools and any equipment that are around the buildings.
So you see
by the well.
Yeah, you see like just 20 feet away from you guys is the entrance to the building. Not the chateau, but the other building.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like there is a door. And a couple small windows. And then, like I said, a sizable stone chimney.
I go up and open the door if it's open.
It is.
No knocking?
You look in, and Oldrad, what you see inside looks like this might in fact be a forge or a smithy. You see kind of in the center of the building, approximately where on the back wall in the center where you saw the chimney, you see a large stone forge.
Mm-hmm.
Basically just, you see huge bellows tied to like some ropes and a few pulleys. You see the wall has numerous wooden pegs with horseshoes, various farming implements. You see a whetstone and a grinder for sharpening and honing. You see shovels, you see crowbars, you see horseshoes, you see a few scythes, you see smaller gardening hand tools, and and that's basically a few hammers, some picks, that kind of stuff.
I call out and
Oldrad,
say,
I'm going back for Bivoj.
okay. I call out, anybody in there?
You don't see anybody.
No. Okay.
It looks like it doesn't look like the forge has been used recently, but you see that all of the elements to start the forge up are in these clay jars. So you see like just a wooden barrel full of coal, and then you see these clay jars full of like tinder and just dried grasses and stuff to get things going.
It's set up ready to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anvil, hammer, the whole thing.
Just trying to find somebody, but nobody's
How
here.
close is the next building?
Well, past that, you see, like, if you went in the same direction going past that building, there's a smaller wooden building that you are guessing might be maybe an outhouse of some kind. And then there's the chateau off to your right, which is huge. Smash cut back to Bivoj. Bivoj, you kind of come out from the hedge maze.
Yeah, I'm going to the opposite direction that all of my peers went. I'm in for a stroll. I just had nice fruit and.
Yeah, but I want you to understand, you're outside of the wall now. So do you want to climb the wall, or are you going to walk around the entire place?
I'm walking around.
Okay.
Like, I'm just looking for what's there. Like, is the wall okay?
Yeah, sure.
In the whole perimeter, is there some ruined parts of the wall?
Yep. Bane, go ahead and make a wisdom roll under.
Oh, 5, maybe. Hold on a sec. Where's my wisdom? A 6. I made it.
So you head back to where you guys climbed the wall, and you hear someone walking outside of the wall.
I'll lean and look over the wall, see if I can see anyone.
Do you climb the wall?
As I'm still on the wall, I'll just lean over and see if I can see the grounds.
Okay, you see Bivoj outside of the wall.
Bivoj, would you like some company?
What? Okay then.
I'll drop down and go with him.
Okay.
Let's go. Is there anybody?
Do you leave your grappling hook and rope so that you can climb back over? Okay. All right.
Have you found
Smash
anybody?
cut back to the rest of the group. So the rest of you are, you're kind of over by this smithy, this forge building, and you see ahead of you, like I said, it looks like there's maybe a small outhouse on this same side of the estate, and then the chateau. You have not seen what's around the entire perimeter of the chateau unless you want to walk around it.
I want to go up to the smallish outhouse-like building and just open the door and use my nose to see how recently it has been used.
Fantastic. Roll me percentile dice and tell me what the result is.
Uh-oh.
I put my percentile dice away. I didn't think we'd ever see one of those. Nice.
I've got a Decatur and a 10-sider, so... Let me see, 57.
57. Ooh, nice. Okay, you open the door. You see what looks like a serving girl, some kind of peasant girl, sitting on the commode, and she screams when you open the door.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll close the door.
Okay. She stopped screaming.
I'm sorry. We're, that's the way it's gonna be for a while.
Do you stay there or do you go back to the rest of the group?
I'll stay there. I
won't
call out to anybody. I'll just
hearing that scream, we'll be running over.
Yep.
As well, yes.
I'll stand with my back to the door. Just don't, okay?
Are you okay, Sarah?
Yeah, I just surprised someone accidentally.
Oh, there's someone here.
Yeah, but let's just wait.
You hear a voice, a girl's voice from inside of the outhouse, and she says, Are you guests?
Oh.
Sorry if I startled you. I wasn't expecting anyone to open the door.
I wasn't expecting anyone to be in residence. We were lost in the mountains and we made our way here, and I don't know if we'll be accepted as guests or not.
She says, mountains? There's no mountains around here. How far have you traveled?
Days.
Oh, I see. She says, well, and you hear some rustling, and then a moment later, the door creaks open.
I'll step back.
She kind of steps out and looks at all of you, and she's like, my apologies, and she bows and she says, I am Mondette. I'm one of the kitchen maids. I'm not formally to greet any guests.
Well, we kind of invited ourselves, but we were hoping to find...
She seems utterly confused by this. She says, Has Lord Jourdain met you yet?
No.
Oh, well, she says, if you go to the Chateau Landry, his head steward will greet you and introduce you. You must be weary if you've been traveling so long.
Can you take us there? We are unfamiliar with these grounds.
You see a look of fear come over her face. She's like, I am not allowed. She's like, I am a kitchen maid. She's
Point
like,
the way then.
She points basically towards the front of the chateau. And she says, forgive me, excuse me, I must return to the kitchens. She actually goes around the side towards the back of the chateau.
Mondet, we will say nothing of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, at least it's not empty.
Okay, well, should
Do
we
want
wait
to?
for Bivoj and Bane?
I don't
I
know.
think we should.
You guys want to go get them?
Yes.
By the way, since you're basically in proximity to the outhouse still, having just met Mondet, you notice that you're kind of looking now at the back side of the chateau. The first thing is that the wall around the perimeter of the estate goes the whole distance. Like you could clearly see that from where you are now.
Yeah.
But the other thing that you notice is there are a couple other buildings in the back of the grounds behind the chateau. One of them looks definitely like a barn, like a stables. And you see an older man and a younger man who are tending to a couple horses outside of that barn. The other building just beyond that looks like a smaller building, and you can hear dogs barking over by that building.
Uh-oh.
And Claude, Critter, you notice Critter kind of perks his ears, and he like is at attention when you guys hear the dogs.
I pull back on his leash.
Okay. He's not pulling, but you could tell that he's at attention.
Yeah, and I'm letting him know, just don't go there.
Well, let's go get our companions, I suppose.
I'll just wait right here.
Okay, well, while you're waiting, you see Mondet like disappear around the back end of the chateau. Who's going to
I'm
get the
staying as well.
companions?
I'm staying with Sarah.
Okay. Liber, what are you doing?
I don't want to separate the group anymore. So if we're not all going to go, then I'm a little hesitant. I think we'll stay here. Maybe we should introduce ourselves to these two, unless does anyone feel strongly we go bring the party back together?
That was the impression I thought we had. I mean, if you guys don't want to all go, I'll go.
Well, I think I just want to stay here to mark the place, and since I was seen by a staff member.
You were
all of us.
Yeah, we all were, but I'll just stay here to mark this place. So
and just have
where to come back to.
Just having one Oldrad go and get the others would be plenty.
How long could it take for them to get in here?
Yeah, you guys have been in the grounds for quite a few minutes, and even after Bane left, it's been quite a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so Oldrad, you go over to where Bane headed off to.
Yes.
You see the grappling hook, but the rope is on the other side of the wall, outside of the wall.
How tall's the wall again?
10 feet.
10? What do I got here?
Well, we have plenty of grappling hooks and ropes, so there could even be 2 ropes on either side.
We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
Grab the rope.
Yeah, that's not what we did. So, I have a crowbar. Could I try and jump and reach it?
Yep. You do.
I get it, so I can get it on my side, and then I haul myself over and position it on the other side again, so we can get back over.
You get up to the top of the wall. You look the length of the wall. You don't see Bivoj or Bane.
Okay. I still hop the wall, get on the other side.
All right.
And start heading towards the back.
In the same direction as where you guys were from the inside?
Just heading towards the back of the chateau that way.
Okay.
Yeah, further to the left.
Because yes.
Okay. So you start going around the exterior of the wall. Smash cut to Bane and Bivoj. You guys are taking a long walk. Bane, you notice that Bivoj has a pear. The pear is green on one side and red on the other, and it looks like something's carved into the red side, a word. Are you literate?
No, I'm not.
Do you want some?
Most of this party isn't, I think.
Do you want some? I got 6. So.
I don't eat things that I don't know why they say something.
I will say something. I'll say something to both of you, even though you don't know what the word is. You could see that it's the same word on every pair.
Is it like stamped onto the pear, or is it like...
it looks like somebody carved it in with like a thin blade.
I found them inside the
something that
maze.
someone's carved in. Not eating that.
I do. If you don't want to, I can finish them.
Are you feeling strange at all?
I'm okay. It's very delicious. Very ripe. You sure you don't want to?
I'll keep an eye on you, my friend. I came out here to make sure you're all right, and you're eating fruit with things written in them.
So you guys have gone around the wall in the opposite direction now, Bane, from where you crossed. And you're I mean, unless you climb the wall to get your bearings, you've gone around 2 corners. It's about a football field of distance along a length of each wall.
And what's not the wall side, but the opposite side? Is it just forest?
Oh yeah,
is it
forest.
a drop off, or is it, okay.
Same thick forest that you guys entered.
Bivoj, I think we should rejoin the rest of the party.
Yeah, okay. I'm not comfortable with crawling over the walls, but yeah, okay, we can do that. It's not my first rodeo.
It seems like this whole area is enclosed by this fence thing, so might as well, see what the others are doing, and more heads are better than none.
Okay, if you say so. Are you sure you don't want the pear?
I'm quite sure, my friend.
Okay, I'll say one for Havardr. He looks like...
That's a good idea.
He looks like he enjoys good pears.
They will all want some of your delicious fruit, I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, I'll save him just one.
Cut back to Oldrad. You're walking along, and you walk.
I'm jogging.
Okay, you're jogging around the perimeter, and you can hear. You get to a certain point where you're coming around the length of the wall. You come around the corner, and you can actually hear the voices of Liber and Sarah and Claude, like inside of the wall.
Right. Okay. I continue on because I'm looking for 2 other people.
Okay. You come around the bend, and coming around the bend, the opposite direction towards you, you see Bane and Bivoj.
I wave them down and I start heading towards them.
Okay. So you guys meet about halfway down this last length of wall. So you're roughly opposite of where the entrance to the estate and the hedge maze was.
Mm-hmm.
And you're at the wall.
Hey, do people actually live here? We actually saw a person.
You saw a person? What do you mean you saw a person?
Yeah, over by that that forge house. In the outhouse, there was a serving girl that Sarah
in the outhouse
shocked. Yes.
Did you walk in on her?
No, I did not personally do that. Sarah surprised her, and then she came out a few moments later and told us we should go to the front to go meet the head the head servant.
Did she advise how to get to the front?
She just pointed at the front.
Of course she did.
I mean, we were already inside, so not like there was a maze to ask directions for. The grappling hook's still over there. We could get back over.
Works for me. We've already violated their property. They already know we're here.
They should. Let's head back.
Are you going back all the way around to where you left the rope?
I
Seems
think
like
we
that
should
makes
if
the
we
most
want to
sense.
give it back to whoever's that was.
Okay. Let me see.
Oldrad, do you know what this means?
I can't read, unfortunately, so no. Do I recognize it at least, like I did last time?
No, it's not the same word as what you saw
Okay. Yeah.
above. It's
okay.
Its lettering though is consistent. So every one of the pairs that Bivoj has the same word.
Yeah.
Liber, make me a percentile roll.
While we're waiting, I'm gonna take my hair down and put it back up, basically clean myself up as much as I can.
Okay.
And Bill, the
77.
word on the pair is the same. You've told us that, but is it exactly the same? Does it look like it was created all at the same time,
No.
or was it written in each one individually?
There are slight differences.
Okay.
And like I said, it looks like it was made with a thin blade, and it doesn't like gouge into the fruit. It's just kind of like carved into the skin, very, very thin. All right, Liber, 77. Ooh, that's fantastic.
I love it when Bill says fantastic.
I mean it in the most non-fantastic way ever. All right, let's see. Oldrad has a constitution of 16. Bane has a constitution of 18. Bivoj has a constitution of 15. Bivoj.
I'm worried. I'm worried now.
I'm here.
Roll a d12.
Oh, shoot. That's 4.
D12s are never used. 4.
Bivoj. Are you continuing to eat the pear?
Of course.
Okay, you find that you can't open your mouth. And you also find that you can't breathe.
Oh,
Bane and Oldrad, each of you make a wisdom roll under.
Wisdom roll. I think I still made it.
Natural 20. I missed.
I made it under my wisdom by 3.
Okay, Bane, you're trudging forward, eager to get the group back to where the rope was left. Oldrad, you're walking with Bivoj, and you notice his eyes kind of pop open wide, and his mouth is like stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's making an odd face.
I look at
You notice like the
Bivoj.
veins on his neck are popping.
I put my hand on his shoulder. Bivoj, what's wrong?
He can grunt, but he can't seem to communicate.
Right. Does it look like his throat's swelling up, or like?
It looks like the veins on his throat are there. His
Yeah.
face is kind of turning red.
Bane, something's wrong with our friend, and I'm just like, what? I'm confused for a moment, and then
He needs air. We need to open this passageway.
I literally try to open his mouth.
You
My
go to
hands.
grab at his mouth, and you feel something.
Uh-huh.
You don't see anything, but you feel something over his mouth, and you notice something as you get closer. His nostrils are pinched together.
Jeez.
You don't see anything over his
Right.
nostrils, but you see his nostrils are pinched together, and his mouth is completely closed, and he's starting to panic.
I try to like wipe his face. Like, is there something there that?
You don't feel any air coming out of his nose or mouth. Like they're both sealed.
Right. Shit. I lay him down and I cast Cure Light Wounds on him.
Oh.
Because I know what that does if it's one of those effects.
Bivoj, are you down any hit points?
No,
Okay,
not yet.
You are now.
you feel great.
I didn't cast the opposite spell.
No, you feel great. But you still can't breathe.
Shit. It wasn't like a temporary effect on him, because that's what that spell does. I can affect that.
Bivoj, I need you to make a saving throw versus paralysis.
Jesus.
C20. Oh, 1?
That's not good.
Yeah.
Bivoj starts like convulsing. He's on the ground and he's struggling, like he still can't breathe. He's starting, like his lips are turning blue.
I pull an arrow out of my quiver, and with just the edge, I try to slit a hole in his mouth so he can breathe.
And it's like his cheek or something.
Okay, the moment you do that, his mouth bursts open, his nostrils open, and he gasps and just sucked in air, like.
And then I'll hold on to the incision so that he doesn't leak blood until I can find a way to patch him.
You didn't even do it.
Oh.
The moment that your arrow got close, his mouth opened, his nose opened.
That's bizarre.
Oh, God.
Well,
Bivoj, are you okay? What's wrong?
yes.
What happened?
Those pears seems to be a little bit tart.
Glad I didn't have one, my friend.
But tastes good. I have to tell you.
Not worth it seems, though.
Well, I saved the other ones.
You can keep them as well.
Yeah, you keep those.
That's funny. All right, you guys make it back to the rope. You climb over.
Yeah.
Okay, smash cut back to the rest of the group. You've been standing by the outhouse waiting for your friends for at least 10 minutes. At a certain point, you notice that you have been noticed. Like across the back of the grounds behind the chateau, over by the stables, you notice that like the older man like swats the younger one in the head, like just hits him upside the head and points to the stables. And the younger man takes these two horses into the stables. And the older man turns and he sees you guys and he kind of like does a double take. He sort of shields the sun over his eyes and then he starts walking across the grounds towards you guys. He looks very grumpy. He has a very large build with kind of like poorly cropped black hair. He kind of looks like he's a middle-aged man, and he has like a rough, sort of greasy black beard. And you notice he's wearing like high riding boots. He's got like an apron on, and he walks over towards you guys, and he stops short of you, and he looks and he's like, "What brings you here? Are you guests of Lord Jourdain?"
We got lost in vicinity, so we accidentally found our way here.
Lined up to use the privy.
No. I am Sarah Florian Marjit, and I point to Liber and I introduce him, but I don't tell him he's a priest. I just the name. This is Claude and Critter.
And I bow.
This is my friend Leonard. We were separated from others in our group, and we are here just waiting for them to return. Oh, and this is Havardr, sorry. And we are just waiting for them to return so we can go as a group to be properly introduced to the household. I apologize for interrupting your day.
He says, "What do you mean, properly introduced? You haven't been how'd you get back here then?
We
Climb the wall?
bypassed the maze.
We were lost in the woods, and we found a door, and it was better prospect than the woods. So we tried and found ourselves here.
Well, I hope you don't have any horses, because the stables are all full up.
No horses.
Unfortunately.
Critter.
You notice that he looks at Critter and he says, the master's not going to allow any dogs inside of his house. He says, you'd best put that one over there in the kennel with the other dogs.
I'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Nah. It's up to you, but I don't handle dogs. I handle horses.
That's fine.
Where is that confounded boy? He turns over his shoulder.
Can you tell us something about the Lord?
About Lord Jourdain?
Yes.
He's the lord of this estate.
Yes. What kind of man is he?
He's a nobleman.
Is he honorable?
How am I supposed to answer that?
Well, does he pay you fairly? Does he make
He pays what he pays.
And you are comfortable in your living situation?
I suppose so.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Bertrand! He yells. And you notice like the teenage boy like pop out from the stables. And he says, they don't have any horses. You're lucky, boy, but that doesn't mean that you're getting out of sweeping. Now get to work.
Very good.
And
Sir, this might sound strange, but we got really lost. Like really lost. Can you tell us where we are? Are we in the Westlands, or what kingdom is this?
He looks at you like the way that people look at crazy people who talk to themselves on the street.
Like I said, we're really lost. We've been wandering in the woods and the mountains for a while.
He says, ain't no mountains around here. You
yeah,
must
that's
be
how
really
long
lost.
we've been wandering.
He says, I suppose that if you came from the mountains, yous would have been heading south or west.
Do I still have any inkling of the main direction we came from? That I can point like
Yes.
we came from that way?
You did not travel west. You specifically traveled east.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit south, but mostly east when you followed that stream out of the mountains.
Okay, so I can basically point towards we came from over that way.
He says, I don't know what mountains you mean over there.
Well, can you tell us where we are now?
Of course. You're on the eastern end of the kingdom of Avendia. In the woodlands, east of the lake.
Small matter. Do we have any inkling where that is?
Those of you from the Western Kingdoms would know that Avendia is the central of the Western Kingdoms.
I'll pull out my map. So this lake, huh?
That's right.
And we are right about here. And I point to a green space between the hills and the lake.
He nods. You notice that he's looking at your map and he's like, that's a funny map.
Oh, how so?
I don't recognize a lot of those places that are on the map.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't get out very much from my work. If you're travelers, maybe you've got newer maps.
Well, speaking of that, and like I said, we're really lost. Do you know
This makes me feel.
what year or day it is?
He says, well, today's cleaning days. It's a Sunday.
Year, month?
Yeah,
Like that.
it's in the autumn, September of 1120.
Okay.
He says, you really must be lost. He says, I'm not fixing to get walloped for talking to guests.
It's all right. We will say nothing of this. Thank you so much for the information.
It's not in my interest to take a beating, and I don't really fancy having to go head to head. But I'll tell you this. If you're looking to get introduced to Lord Jourdain, you need to find his major domo, Landry. He manages all the affairs here at the estate.
Landry.
I'm going through my coin pouch and pull out one of those golden 1120 coins and hand it to this kind sir. And thank you for answering our questions. I know we sounded strange.
He looks over his shoulder at the chateau, and his eyes scan the entire back end of the building. And he's like, thank you very kindly. It's generous of you. He pockets it. He says, I've got to get back to work.
One last question. What is Lord Jourdain's main type of business?
Jourdain's main type of business? Being a noble? The IRA noble house has been around for generations.
Indeed.
They own lands, they own farms, they have mining claims, they own timber trade. He's like, there's a timber camp not more than a day's ride here from the estate to the north.
Thank you.
I think this might be a little strange question, but have you seen any warband around here?
Warband? Ain't been warbands in ages.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
He says, like I said, you're going to want to go around to the entrance of the chateau and ask one of the servants to speak to Landry for a proper introduction.
Thank you so much.
And he turns and he starts walking back towards the stables.
Well,
as you guys have concluded this conversation, you see coming around the corner, kind of by the outhouse, is Oldrad, Bane, and Bivoj.
So, okay, are we ready to talk to Landry, the
who's that?
Head of court?
Yeah,
he's the seneschal, so the major domo. So we have to talk to him before we can talk to Lord Jourdain. Although I don't know if we want to talk to Lord Jourdain.
Yeah,
we might do as well. Do that. However, do you want a pair?
Where'd you get
Sure, I'll take a pair.
Here, take it.
I slapped that pear out of his hand. Don't eat that. This fool ate that pear and nearly died.
Huh. Well, I'll pick it up and look at it.
Are you literate?
Yep.
Damn it, now I have to actually look up what was what was written on it.
We can't all be illiterate, Bill.
Yeah.
A lot
I'm
of
going to share the
today.
I'm going to share the information we got about our location and the year with everyone who wasn't there.
Okay, so as Liber is updating you guys, Sarah, you look at the pear, and you notice that carved thinly into the skin, but not piercing into the fruit, on the red side is the word Katarina. Like, almost like the name Katarina.
Well, it seems like it's a woman's name here, Katarina. What
And
happened to you?
It's on all of the pairs that he has left.
What happened to you?
I just ate a pear and it was a little bit tart or whatever. I just could not breathe for a while and then it was okay suddenly.
And you two witnessed this?
Yes.
Huh.
Indeed.
Bane seemed to have helped him somehow. He was about to use an arrow to, I don't know, like cut.
Slice
something,
open a hole so he could breathe.
Yeah. Because like he couldn't open his mouth. I couldn't pry it open.
And his
And
nostrils were held closed as well.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I dropped the
but
pear.
no one.
I pick it up and just clean it and put it
No,
back.
no.
back into
Just
my
leave
bag.
it here.
What is
No,
your
no, no.
affinity for
No.
this?
I look.
This may come
I-
handy. This
I
may
look-
come handy in the future.
I look concerned at Liber.
I think, if nothing else, we should make sure these pears are not in sight as we go into the house. We don't want them to think we're trying to steal or... And we don't know who Katarina is.
Yeah, that's
throw
why
him in the
I put
outhouse.
it in my backpack.
No, throw him in the outhouse.
No. I put him in my backpack. It'll be okay.
I think
Don't worry.
we may want to dispose of these apples.
Pears.
Pears.
For a wise man, you're not very savvy, are you?
I'm a little thrown off by fruit that has names carved into them.
Are you?
Aye.
Where are you disposing of these? Yet the outhouse is basically 5 feet away from you guys.
If he's gonna dispose of him, I don't know. Doesn't seem like he wants to.
No, if it was me, I'd put him in the hole in the outhouse.
I'm
Oh,
fine
no.
if he puts them in his backpack.
Those were mine.
What
I
if
found
Critter
them
gets
fair
a
and
what,
square.
what if Critter gets a hold of some of them?
Yeah,
That
and they
would
make
kill
you
him
sick.
instantly. It
He
would kill him
wouldn't
instantly.
eat a pear.
I think he'll be smart enough.
He's not a
to
cow,
notice.
you know. He eats meat.
Mm-hmm.
Tickling whatever he can.
Well,
Dog,
in any
dogs will eat
case,
whatever.
I'm gonna start heading toward the front of the building.
I joined Sarah.
Yeah, let's
Those
go,
are
guys.
mine.
Follow.
First the gems and now the pears.
Okay.
Getting late in the day. Let's go.
So you guys kind of walk back towards the smithy and the well, and you kind of turn the corner, and you see the beautiful like colonnade, like the columns with the trellises that sort of create like a walkway, like a splendid walkway with like marble stone that leads from the hedge maze, if you had gone through the hedge maze, to the main porch, the front porch of the very regal looking estate.
Is there a footman on the front porch?
In fact, there is not, but you do see up the stairs on the front porch is a set of double doors, and there is a knockers, like a set of iron knockers. Above the entranceway, like above the double doors, Bivoj, you see the same symbol on the capstone of the arched double doors that you saw on that statue's shield.
I've already seen this. It was on the statue in the maze.
What does
Not
it say?
carved in any fruit.
No, it was on the shield. Big stone shield.
Well, it's obviously their family crest.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds fancy.
Well, I'll walk up to the front door and knock one of the knockers 3 times. Boo, boo, boo.
Okay. You hear the knock echo, and you don't hear any response.
Wonder if there's like a secret password.
Do it again.
It's a big
Perhaps
place.
it's just
It could
gonna
take some
take
while.
them to get here. They're not probably right by the door.
I'll count to 30 and then I'll do it again.
Just for background, would noblemen tend to be religious?
You know that the nobility in the Western Kingdoms tends to be tied in pretty strongly with the Western Church. You actually would know that the Western Church is basically what anointed families to become nobility. So like if a family is truly noble, that means the church has recognized them. That also usually means there's a reciprocal relationship where noble families tithe a significant amount of resources and money to provide for the church.
Thank you.
So they're
course.
kind of interconnected. After the second round of knocks, you hear like the clicking sound of like, you know, boots on a floor. And then you hear the door open and you see a well-appointed, like middle-aged man with dark brown hair kind of swept over his ears, and a mustache that like goes from almost all the way down to his chin, and then like a pointy goatee. And he's wearing like very like colorful and decorative clothing, like poofy sleeves with like green, like a green tunic that has like gold trim around the edges, and like pantaloons that are kind of poofy, and then like these leather boots with heels. And he opens the door and he says, "Hello, may I be of assistance?"
We wish to speak with Landry.
I am he.
Well met.
You expect it.
I do not think so.
I see.
May we enter and tell our story?
You may. He holds the door open.
I know.
As you guys... Go ahead.
How do you guys behave, okay? This is a class place.
So you guys enter, and there's basically you see like a large foyer, like a large entrance foyer. The floor is tiled with what you assume to be marble. This is like a pristine, like white marble tiles, like big, like 2 by 2 foot marble tiles, squares. You see like a further in, about 20 feet in from this entrance, it looks like it opens up onto some kind of large hall, but immediately to your left and to your right there are other doors. And you see like, you know, folding screens. They're like 6 foot tall, and each folding screen has like a tapestry stretched between it, so it kind of creates like a little semi-wall. And the tapestries all depict different things that you can examine if you want. But Landry kind of holds the door open for all of you to enter the foyer. And then he closes the door and he says, "Prior to introducing you and requesting an audience with Lord Jourdain, may I have your names and your families?"
Thank you. I will start. I am Sarah Florian Marjit. I am a relative of I am involved with, our family owns the Marjit Trading Company, and I have been traveling for many days with my companions. And I turn to Liber.
He says, "Pardon me. Did you say Marjit?
Yes.
From the Eastern Kingdoms?"
Yes.
Like, Like I am familiar with that name.
Mm-hmm.
Was that family perchance involved in the First Holy Wars?
Do I know from my family?
Go ahead and make an intelligence roll under.
Rolled a 10 on the 15.
You feel like it's possible, but you also feel like that was really long ago, like hundreds of years ago.
It's possible, but I personally have not heard any family stories of that period, and it was a long time ago. So the best answer I can give you is I really don't know. And then I point again to Liber.
He looks to Liber.
I am Liber. I am from the I am a representative of the church. I have been traveling on my missions, and as my companion has stated, we've been lost for several days now. And I turn to the person to my side, whoever that may be.
He looks to Havardr.
I am Havardr Ebonlocke. I am a sellsword of sorts that's been accompanying this fine party. We found ourselves in a little predicament, but we seem to come together pretty well.
He nods, and then he turns and looks at Leonard.
Well, my name is Leonard, and I've mainly got here on accident, and I'm really unsure. I'm son of fisherman, so I got myself in this company quite recently, so we'll see.
He then turns and looks at Bivoj.
I'm Bivoj, son of Sudivoj. Nice to meet you, sir. And I extend my hand.
He does not shake your hand.
Okay.
He turns and looks at Claude.
Hi, I'm Claude Oxborne with my guard dog Critter. We come from Lee County in the Borderlands, and I'm a retired guard of Lee Castle.
He pauses. And then he says, were you in the service of Lord Trenton Lee?
Was I?
Yeah, Lord Trenton Lee is literally the current head of House Lee and
my former boss.
Lee Castle. Okay. Says, well done. And he looks to Oldrad.
I am Oldrad Warmail. I have been accompanying this group. We seem to have met under strange circumstances, and we're lost together, and here we are today.
He nods, and then he turns and looks at Bane.
If you must refer to me, you can call me Bane.
Very well. I will ask you to please understand that Lord Jourdain typically has appointments for an audience, which is customary. I will explain the circumstances of your arrival and request that he allow me to provide you with some hospitality, after which perhaps you would enjoy some repast, some rest, and of course baths. I will then request an audience, if that meets your approval.
It may not be necessary for us to meet the Lord.
He says, "Oh, pardon me, madam. It will be quite necessary.
Oh,
it is
okay.
the circumstances under which you meet the Lord that will be determined."
Oh, okay. We do not wish to trouble him. We just wish rest and direction to where we need to go. That is really
Quite. I am certain that upon Lord Jadane's convenience, that these things will not be an issue. If you would join me, and he gestures to the left, please join me in the High Hall. You may attend and rest, and I will see to the servants to bring some refreshing elements for you. He walks over to the door to the left and opens it. You guys look in and you see the largest dining room that you've ever seen. There is a massive wooden table, and every leg of that table has like ornate carving. The table has, at your count, like 30 chairs. There are linen set and like fine china. There's chandeliers hanging from 3 different areas, though the candles are not currently lit. You see serving like banquet I forgot what they're called, like the serving tables along the sides, with basically
buffets.
Buffets that have like pitchers and bowls and all these different serving things and platters. And there's no food or anything or drinks out there, but it looks like this is a massive dining room. Beyond that room, you see that first of all, the room is huge, but you see that there is another doorway to the left, which is closed. And then you see a bay window in the dining room, which is currently the primary source of light. So the bay window would be facing, outward from the front of the chateau. And there's, sunlight's coming in, so you can see fairly well in the room. Adorning the walls of the room are countless paintings of various figures. These oil paintings range in size from, smaller, like 4 by 3 foot paintings to a couple that are nearly mural size, where they're like 10 by 20 and they take up a massive chunk of the wall. He says, please be seated. I will see to some refreshments being brought for you. The dinner hour will be after dark, but I will have the servants bring you some refreshments while I consult with Lord Jadane.
Please, sir, maybe some fruit.
Absolutely. Yes, not a problem.
Thank you.
You are so kind.
Most welcome. And he does like a formal bow, and then he turns and walks back out towards the foyer, and then he closes the door.
As we walk this way, did we come by some of those tapestries you were talking about? And could we have a quick glance of what we can see there?
Well, I would say, like, while you guys were doing introductions and he was talking with you in the foyer, you definitely could have taken a look at the screens. The screens depicted a variety of what looks like there were some like scenes where like nobility were dancing. Like one of them was like some kind of ball where like there was nobles elegantly dressed and dancing, and then another one was like a scene of like a great dining feast, and like again like nobles, and like at the head of the table there was like a noble lifting a chalice and people toasting. And then another scene was like kind of like a Renaissance sort of looking scene with like a nobleman on a knee with like a maiden standing above him, and he has his hand in her hand in his hand, and he's like kissing her hand. So these kind of, they sort of depict these kind of scenes of noble life.
Okay.
A quick question. When he was asking about Sarah's family in the First Holy War, And she mentioned that it was a long time ago. Did he make any reaction to that comment?
Make a wisdom roll under. Let's do that.
4 out of 18.
I have a question next as well after that.
4 out of 18. So Liber, you mentioned you heard him say the First Holy War, which you know to have been centuries ago. And you notice that when she said she doesn't remember from that long ago, he did seem a little puzzled.
Well, I don't remember my family's involvement in it. I mean,
yeah, you
everyone
discerned
knows
what you were trying to discern, Liber.
I'm thinking that we may be out of place in time right now. Judging by the coins that we had in our cave, the ones that we had were freshly minted and they looked very new, but the ones from just a year prior seemed very old. And then when he mentioned the Holy War, he didn't seem to think that it was that long ago. His reaction to you saying it was a long time ago seems to be off.
Huh.
Yeah, but I'm just about in the right era, being that the Lord of Lee Castle that he mentioned is my lord.
And for how long those lords were there?
Yeah. And could it be a different Lord Lee?
But from what you said to me, that servant outside told you that it's 11:20.
Let's have Claude make a intelligence roll under.
Yeah, honestly, I wonder if that my lord's name, I can't recall, has been like several ages before having the same name. But let's see, that's a 3 for wisdom?
Intelligence.
Intelligence, okay. I rolled a 3 on my 11, so that's way under.
Your instincts are correct. The name Trenton Lee has been used many times throughout the history of House Lee. But what strikes you too is that you know that House Lee, compared to other noble houses in like the Western kingdoms and the Eastern kingdoms, House Lee is not that old. But you feel like your recollection is that House Lee was formed somewhere around the year like the 900s, the 8 or 900s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I may or may not be in the right time. All right.
Yes, Oldrad.
When Liber caught us up about where we actually are, Oldrad started trying to remember before the whole waking up and by the stream, where he was before that happened, like to see if he can recollect like where in the continent he was. Is he like removed from where he was before, or like would it be weird for him? Like, was he on the Eastern Kingdom for some reason, and then now he's in Avindia?
I'll let you make an intelligence roll under.
Not. I think I rolled just under. Yeah, I rolled 5 with a 6 intelligence.
You don't think you were in the Western kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty sure you weren't in the Eastern kingdoms. In fact, you're not even sure you've ever been to the Eastern kingdoms. You're fairly certain that you were in the Borderlands.
Right.
Okay. You guys notice that in the north end of this room, you do notice like a regal fireplace. And over the mantle of that fireplace are 2 wooden pegs and a 2-handed sword. The fireplace is currently not active. There's no fire in it. There are logs, but there's no fire, and there's like ash around the base.
I'm gonna go up to that sword and look at it up close, being that I like my two-hander as well.
You look at the sword, and you notice that the blade itself does not have like a polished looking sheen. Like compared to your sword, it's not polished. It's not like reflective. It's a very dull gray color.
Okay, so a patina on it.
Yes, I think that is how you would perceive it. It looks old.
Mm-hmm. Any markings on it?
Yes. There's a stamp near the
Hilt?
Near the hilt. On the blade is a stamp.
Okay, like a maker's mark kind of.
Yes. Roll an intelligence roll under.
Ooh, that's a 1.
You recognize that symbol. You've seen it. Like, recently. Like within the last few days since you seem to have awoken. And you feel like that symbol might be the same as one of the symbols that was on the disc that you guys found. Who is carrying the disc?
I have it.
Leonard has it?
I go up to Leonard and Leonard, can I see those discs for a moment?
Yeah, I think so.
Take it and
Just one.
inspect it. And go
Okay.
back up to the sword and
You take the disc out and you bring it over by the sword, and you notice that the symbol stamped into the blade on the sword matches one of the symbols on the disc. You also notice something else. The disc seems to look like the same kind of metal as what the sword is made of.
Interesting.
Can I take a moment to make a tracing of the disc onto a piece of paper? I have some paper.
Absolutely.
I do. I take it out. I
Get the
kind of
sword into
just.
some fire. Where's
I hand back the
fire?
disc.
I hide it in the back.
There's no fire currently, but you can easily spark up fire if you wanted. There are candles on candelabras all over the table and on the serving tables.
Are they lit?
No, but you
No,
have a
nothing's
tinderbox.
I'm just going around the room looking at small things, just looking at them, not touching them,
Okay.
seeing if I can place any of them from my knowledge of trade, meager as it is.
Okay. Bane, do you light a candle?
Is this? I want to touch the sword first and see if it's if it feels like a normal weight of a regular sword, or if it feels lighter, or if it feels off, and then
You
see
take
if I
the
can
sword-
actually lift it.
Okay. You take the sword off the pegs. It feels like a weighty two-handed sword.
Okay. So
But as you are kind of like holding it, you feel that it's also, despite being a two-handed sword, incredibly well balanced.
okay, then now I'll light a
Feels,
candle.
it feels very firm.
Dude, what
I'd
are
like
you
to light a
doing
candle.
taking up the sword?
I'll show you in a minute. I light a candle.
Okay. A moment later, you've lit a candle.
I take the tip of the sword and put it in the flame.
You see the edges of the sword reflect a greenish color.
As I thought, and I put it back on the wall.
Okay.
Oh yeah, crap! I forgot that disc did that strange thing as well. Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, guys, be very careful what you touch here, and please don't take anything because a family this wealthy counts everything. I mean, everything.
I take what I want and leave what I don't. That's it, that's all.
Yeah, please don't want anything in this room. Just saying.
Just to make sure, when Leonard had the disc out, I did want to Leonard, just let me make a tracing on the disc, correct?
Yeah. I'll let you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And when I'm done looking around the room, I'll take a seat somewhere in the middle of the table. Wait there. Put my unstring my bow and set it beside my chair. Take off my backpack.
After the rough journey we had, I sit probably and start writing what I can remember from past few days.
Okay. A few minutes have gone by, and then you hear the door from the foyer open, and you see a familiar face, and that familiar face is Mondet, carrying a large platter. And she comes over to the table, seeing only Sarah sitting there. She brings the platter over and sets it on a stand on the table. And you notice that the platter has a variety of cold cuts, like meat, and several blocks of different cheeses, as well as a whole bunch of different fruits, like grapes, some cherries, some pears.
I'll inspect the fruit for writing.
You don't see any writing on these fruits. You also then see a man who you have not seen yet, who enters. He has kind of like long curly hair that comes down to his shoulders, but a clean shaven face, and he's wearing like very pristine like white clothing with like a kerchief around his neck. And he comes in with another platter, and this platter has like hot food on it. Like you see there are like a nicely arranged cluster of game hens. There are like 6 game hens, and then like in the middle of this platter is a heaping pile of potatoes and carrots and celery and onions, and it's just steaming. He sets that down, and he says,
Plates at the table?
yeah, there are plates, silverware, everything.
I don't even look at Mondet.
And then you see a younger boy enter with 2 pitchers, and he sets the pitchers down at the table. And you notice that the man looks at the boy and he nods, and the boy like scurries off. Mondet looks at the man and he nods, and she scurries off. And the man says, he looks to you and he's like, "Welcome, my guests. I am Ervis, the chef for Doreguteon. It is my pleasure for you to enjoy these refreshments, and I hope you will help yourselves. I have been told that Landry has spoken with Doreguteon, and it will be some time before your audience. So please help yourselves to these refreshments, and I hope you enjoy yourselves. Bon appetit." And he bows and he walks out of the room.
I get seated at the table and start chowing down.
Yeah, so there is the freshest food that you've been able to see other than that which you've hunted, and all of it smells like it has been seasoned and smells delicious. In the pitchers, you find 1 pitcher of red wine, and the other looks like a dark, kind of an amber ale.
Ooh, I'll take
I'm going to go around to each one of you and have you briefly tell me what you were going to eat. Again, there's the hot platter with the game hens and the vegetables. There's the cold cuts, the cheese, the fruit, and the bread. Sorry, I forgot the fresh bread. Steaming loaves of fresh bread. And then the drink options are the red wine or the dark amber ale. So I'll start with Liber.
I'm going to hold off eating and drinking for the moment. I'm going to sit on the side and I'm going to say some prayers.
Excellent. Oldrad.
I just pour some wine, and I grab a little bit of grapes.
Okay. Havardr.
I'm eating my rations and drinking from my water skin. I don't quite trust this.
Okay, Bivoj.
Oh gosh, Bivoj just stuff himself with cheese and
Pears.
game and bread and potatoes, everything that he can, and he stuffs his backpack with some fruits.
Okay.
For
Leonard.
later.
Okay. Leonard thinks about it and will try to imitate what Sarah will do because she probably knows the etiquette.
Oh, okay. Sarah.
Well, I'll pour myself a glass of wine and I'll offer it around to anyone who wants the red wine.
Okay.
Leonard, I'll pour you some, and then I'll just take some bread, some cheese, a small portion of grapes or whatever finger stuff there is, and make a little sandwich thing, and pretty dainty, not like Bivoj.
All right, Claude.
Those cold cuts are meats, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to pick out some of the less spicy looking ones and put them on a plate for Critter. And for myself, I take the ale.
I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that your dog was not admitted to the house, so he has to be on the front porch.
Okay. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, you could peek out the window and you could see him. He's sitting, like he's laying down on the front porch.
Okay. Do the windows open?
I don't think so. They're like leaded glass windows. So
okay. Anyway, I'll be having the ale and the game hands and potatoes and all the warm vegetables. Having a good dinner and see about prepping a plate with cold cuts for Critter.
Okay.
And when I'm done, try and walk out and.
We'll get to that in a moment. Bane.
I observe Havardr's eating his own rations, and I follow suit and eat my own rations.
Excellent. All right, Liber, I need you to make a percentile roll. Followed by Havardr and then Bane.
You're muted.
49.
49. Interesting. Okay. Very good. A few minutes into your refreshments, you see the boy that had entered with the pitchers. You see he opens the door and he kind of looks in at you all and does like a quick nod. And then you see he's like looking around on the floor. And he kind of walks up to the table almost. He looks under the table and he looks on the floor.
Did you lose something?
He turns to you almost as if he's frightened. And he doesn't say anything. He just looks at you and he's like, and he shakes his head and then he walks out. Havardr, make a roll.
42.
42. Okay. Bane, make a roll.
Muted.
67.
67. Okay. All right. Very good. Fantastic, in fact. You guys are enjoying your food. Those of you who eat the food or drink the drinks, it is the finest quality that you could remember. Like, doesn't matter what you're eating, it is fresh, it is flavorful, refreshing. The drinks, superb quality wine. Those who had the dark amber beer, superb, robust flavor, if not slightly bitter, but in a good way. Liber, you complete your prayers. Was there anything specifically that you were praying in regards to?
Knowledge. I wanted to reflect on the information we gathered about the time and the reflections, and I was praying to the one true God to kind of show me the truth.
Roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
18.
Okay. You don't sense that you have any greater sense of clarity, but your instincts have been that there's something not quite right. You feel like that feeling that you have is still there. Incidentally, you then, all of you, not just Liber, all of you hear a meowing sound, like in the room. Seems to be coming by, sort of like by the fireplace.
I get up and investigate it.
Okay. As you get closer, you hear like a meow, and it sounds like it's in the fireplace.
I try to locate whatever it is in the fireplace that's meowing.
Okay, as you're kind of looking, you move a couple of the logs, and you notice that there's grates underneath, presumably where the ash falls down.
Yes.
You notice that there's space underneath the grate, and you hear a meowing again.
Oh, what do we have here? And I attempt to move the logs in the grate to get at whatever is down there.
What is your strength?
Pretty good. But my strength is 15.
Oh yeah, you can easily remove the grate.
Is there a bell on the table or anything like that? Bell rope, anything?
There is not. Oldrad, you see, it looks like there's a chute for the ashes, but then you see something that, if you had some source of light, you might be able to see further in.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember that Bane had lit a candle.
Yes. Is it still lit, or did he put it out?
Is it Bane?
I did not put it out.
Okay. I retrieve that candle, and I try to use it to see what's down there.
All right. First thing you notice as you kind of lean forward is that you're in the fireplace. You notice that obviously there's a chimney leading up, but you notice as you look down in the grate that the ashes kind of go down the chute, and then it turns almost like it opens up to some kind of passage.
Yeah.
You hear the meowing once more. It seems to be down there.
Can I reach far enough to maybe get down whatever it is down there?
Are you wearing armor?
I have chainmail on.
You can't reach down. It's like 6 feet down before it turns off towards this passage, but you feel like you could probably squeeze down in there, but it might be kind of challenging with all of your gear.
Right. Even
Dude,
without my
what are you
backpack
doing?
and stuff. I hear something down here.
I'll go to the
Some
door
sort of animal.
that
we all
the
hear it?
servants came out of.
Back to the foyer.
No. The one that in this room that the servants came out of.
That's not where the servants came out of.
Oh,
The
okay. I'll go
servants
to
came
the.
out of the same room, same door that you guys entered.
Okay, I'll open that door, see who's around.
The foyer door.
Yeah.
You just see the foyer.
I'll
Stick
kind
critter
of
down there.
call for Flandry.
You do see, Sarah, you do see to the left, like I said, when you guys first entered, it opens up into some kind of grand hall. And that hall is very well lit, as if maybe there's windows or something, because there's a lot of light.
Okay, I'm looking for a servant, and I'm kind of calling for Flandry, not just Flandry.
Okay. So you call for Landry, you don't hear anything. And then you see like a young boy, not the same as the serving boy, but like a young boy with like very elegant, nice, like noble clothing, kind of like chasing a cat. And he runs across, he's in the grand hall and he like runs across the hall. You just see him kind of, you see this cat run across the hall and then you see the little boy chasing him, laughing.
Okay. I'm not going to bother that boy. I'm going to move until I find a door that might lead to kitchens or something. I know something about large houses, but not a lot.
You see behind those folding screens that there was another door in the foyer.
Okay.
And then there's the open entranceway to the grand hall.
I'll go there.
To the little door or the grand hall?
The little door.
Okay. You open that door and it looks like basically a pantry. Like it's floor to ceiling, wall to wall shelving with preserves. You see sacks of food. You see like dried meat like hanging. You see like clay pots with like grains. Just completely stocked pantry. Jugs of wine, a couple barrels.
I'll say
There's
hello.
another door. There's another door beyond that as well.
Okay, I'll head to that door. Hello? Anyone here?
Yes.
Oh, and who is this?
The door opens and Landry looks out. You notice that it looks like an office. And he says, "Yes, madam, may I help you?"
There's an animal in the dining room in the fireplace.
He says, "That's odd."
Sounds like a cat.
Ah, well, that could be. I wouldn't worry about it, madam. The pets tend to explore the home. He'll find his way out one way or another.
Very good.
Are you enjoying the refreshments?
Oh, yes. Very nice.
Excellent, yes. I have spoken with Lord Jourdain. He will see you this evening. I will come speak with you and your group in a few moments. I have some matters to attend to.
Right. Sorry to have interrupted your work.
Not a problem. If you would be so kind, though, I would request that you not wander around the manor, as there are other affairs that must be tended to as well. As guests, I would prefer that you remain in the dining hall.
Again, apologies. I was just worried.
Not a problem whatsoever, madam.
And I'll head back.
Okay. Back to Oldrad, exploring the fireplace.
You're muted.
I think you're muted.
Sorry, mic was off. I'm not gonna get unarmored, so I'm not gonna like get down there.
Yeah, after a few minutes, you don't hear the cat meowing anymore.
Yeah, I just put stuff back, the grate and the logs.
Okay. All right, so Those of you who ate food enjoyed tremendous food and drinks. Those of you who did not, and perhaps just had your own rations, enjoyed your rations, although the smell of the food was very tempting. And I think this is a good spot at which to end this session of the Lamenters. We will find out what the group does and how the introduction with Lord Jourdain goes at our next episode. Until then, thank you for liking, subscribing, and supporting us. We'll see you next time on the Lamenters.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allen World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.